Be me. 32-year-old corporate culture consultant. Specialize in workplace equity and inclusion. Spent years watching my sister get overlooked. Watched qualified women passed over for mediocre men. Decided someone needed to fix this broken system. That someone would be me. Just got a consulting gig at Nexus Tech. About 50 employees doing cloud software. CEO Amanda hired me after bad press. Bro culture complaints on review sites. Investors wanted better optics before funding round. My job is simple. Make them uncomfortable enough to grow. Disruption is the path to progress. Week 2 at the office. Running my deconstructing privilege workshop. Typical startup vibe. Open floor plan. Beanbag chairs. Ironic motivational posters. About 18 people in the session. Women are participating actively. Maya from marketing, taking detailed notes. Rachel from design sharing experiences. Amber from HR nodding along. The men, though, completely checked out. Brad keeps checking his phone. Derek stares at the clock. And this one developer named Mike, mid-30s, bit of a dad bod, wearing a worn-out company hoodie, sitting in the back corner, arms crossed, staring at the ceiling. Do the privilege walk exercise? Predictable results. White guys end up way ahead. Ask how everyone feels. Women call it illuminating. Men just shrug, say interesting in monotone voices. After the session, I catch Mike in the hall. Hey, Mike. Noticed you were pretty quiet in there. He gives me the corporate smile. Yeah, not really my thing. No offense. That's actually part of the problem. When privileged people opt out, nothing changes. He shifts his weight. Sure, I hear you. Just got deadlines. I press further. The whole point is amplifying marginalized voices. But that includes your struggles too. Men face issues around emotional openness. He looks skeptical. I push harder. How about a one-on-one? Just 20 minutes, completely confidential, no judgment. Long silence. He sighs. Fine, okay, whatever. Friday, 2 p.m., small windowless conference room. Mike arrives exactly on time. Looks like he would rather be anywhere else. Start with easy questions. How is work going? Fine. Project is on track. Yeah? One-word answers. Classic deflection. I lean forward, soften my voice. Mike, this is a safe space. Nothing leaves this room. Sometimes the hardest thing is just being honest. Long silence. Then he asks, what is the point of this? The point is that bottling everything up does not work. You have been told your whole life to be tough. Be the rock. That is exactly the toxic masculinity we need to unpack. Something shifts in his face. This exhausted look I have seen before. You really want to know? Yes, absolutely. He takes a breath. My wife wants a divorce. She told me 3 months ago she is not attracted to me anymore. He laughs, but there is no humor. I have put on probably 35 pounds in 2 years. Stress eating, working late, skipping the gym. I am genuinely surprised. This is way more personal than expected. For a second, I almost want to laugh. Not cruelly, just the awkwardness. But I keep my face neutral. She will not touch me. Has not in months. Makes comments all the time. Do you really need that second helping? Those pants look tight. Constant little jabs. That sounds really difficult, Mike. I have been trying to lose it. Gym at 5 a.m. before work. Meal prepping on Sundays. Lost maybe 8 pounds, but it is never enough. She still looks at me like... He stops mid-sentence. Sorry, this is probably too much. No, this is exactly what we need to normalize. Men sharing vulnerability. His voice cracks. I feel like I am failing at everything. My marriage. My body. Being the man she wanted. Sometimes I sit in my car at lunch and just cry. Feel completely pathetic. I sit there processing, then say, Mike, thank you for this. This is brave. This is the kind of openness that creates real change. He nods, looks drained, but maybe relieved. Does anyone at work know? God, no. It is humiliating. Well, you told me. That is a start. We wrap up. He leaves looking slightly lighter. I feel accomplished. Finally broke through. Few days later, having lunch at the cafe down the street. With Maya, Rachel, and Amber, the women who actually get it. God, it is like pulling teeth with these guys, I say. They just sit there like prisoners. Rachel laughs. Brad literally scrolls his phone the whole time. Amber sips her drink. Do any of them actually engage? This is my moment. Actually, yes. I had a breakthrough with Mike. They all lean in. Maya looks interested. Mike Chen, the quiet developer. Yeah, he finally opened up. About what? I hesitate for just a second. But this is a safe space. These are my people. His marriage. He is struggling. His wife told him she is not attracted to him anymore. Because he gained. Wait. She will not sleep with him. Will not even touch him. Beat of silence. Then Amber makes a face, trying not to laugh. Rachel lets out a surprised giggle. Oh my God, I know, I say. Smiling now too. The absurdity is kind of funny out loud. I mean, Amber says carefully. Maybe she has a point. We all exchange looks. Right, I say. That is what I thought. He framed it like she is being cruel, but he admitted he let himself go. 35 pounds. Rachel nods. And women are expected to stay perfect forever. We gain 5, and suddenly we are letting ourselves go. Exactly, I say. And they still expect us to be attracted. Still do all the emotional labor. Hold on, Amber says. Her HR voice kicking in. He talked to you about his sex life at work. Well, it was in a private session. But still, Amber continues. That is kind of inappropriate, is it not? That sounds like emotional dumping. As HR, if someone reported a male colleague discussing his sex life, I would have to take that seriously. Uncomfortable pause. I think he was just being open. That is what we asked for. Maya looks thoughtful. I mean, yeah, but also kind of weird he went there. Maybe his wife is just done with him, Rachel adds. Interesting he framed it as her failing, instead of his failure to maintain himself. We talk for another 20 minutes, but something has shifted. I do not notice it yet. 1 week later, Tuesday morning, arrive early for coffee, hear voices in the kitchen. Brad and Derek by the coffee machine. Catch the tail end. Got called into HR yesterday. Who? Mike. What for? Someone said he was talking about his sex life at work. I freeze. They have not seen me yet. What? That does not sound like Mike. I know. He looked completely destroyed. Then Brad sees me, goes silent. Both men dump their coffee and leave immediately. I stand there alone, stomach churning. Push it down. Mike probably said something to someone else. That is the only explanation. Over the next few days, I try catching Mike. Thursday, hallway. Hey, Mike. He does not stop. Just says hey in a dead voice, keeps walking, eyes on the floor, shoulders hunched. He looks like he aged 10 years. That night, I text Amber. Did something happen with Mike? She replies. Cannot discuss personnel matters. But he is fine. That but he is fine feels ominous. But I convince myself Mike did something else. This is what consequences look like. Nothing to do with me. Over the next week, the male engineers avoid me. Monday morning, kitchen, 7:30. Hey, Mike, how are you? He sees me. Flash of panic. Then his face goes blank. Morning. Everything okay? You seem off. He finally looks at me. Hollow eyes, dark circles. Has not slept in weeks. I am good, Stephanie. The way he says my name. Cold. If you want to talk. I am good. Sharp now, grabs his coffee, walks out. I try scheduling one-on-ones with the disengaged guys. Brad declines within minutes. Derek accepts, then cancels. Something came up. Wednesday near the engineering area. Hear Brad and Derek talking. Just be careful. Do not give her anything. I am not stupid. I know, but she seems nice. And that is how they get you. I round the corner. They see me. Conversation stops dead. Hey, guys! Hey, Derek says. They grab laptops and leave. That is how they get you. I am trying to help them. Friday evening company happy hour, arrive around 6. Women at a high top near the bar. Maya, Rachel, Amber, others. They wave enthusiastically. What are you drinking? Order wine. Join them. Energy is good. Laughing, talking, having fun. But I scan the room. Male engineers in the far corner. Brad, Derek, Mike, others. Not talking. Nursing beers in silence. Staring at phones. What is up with them, I ask. Maya glances over. They have been weird lately. I asked Brad to lunch yesterday. He made an excuse, Rachel says. Amber watches them. Probably just stressed. Or being babies about the workshops, Rachel says, rolling her eyes. We laugh, but one of the guys stands up, drops cash. Within minutes, they all leave. It is 6:30. Been here less than half an hour. That is actually weird, Maya says. I feel frustration and unease. They are resistant to change. We are disrupting their comfort. They do not like it. Amber nods. That is probably it. But Maya looks uncertain. That night, 3 glasses in. I text Amber. Be honest. Did Mike do something? 10 minutes later. He did not do anything wrong exactly. Someone expressed concern about boundaries. It is being handled. Who? No response. Was it about our one-on-one? Still nothing. Unease spreads through my chest. But I drown it with rationalization. Mike must have talked about it inappropriately with someone else. That is why HR got involved. I did not do anything wrong. If he got in trouble, that is on him. Tell myself this until I almost believe it. Wednesday morning, CEO Amanda calls me in. Corner office, windows overlooking the city, modern desk, framed awards. Thanks for making time, she says. Wanted to check in. Good, I say, defensively. The workshops are really landing. That is great. I have heard positive feedback. Pause. But I am seeing concerning trends in engagement data. She pulls up a spreadsheet, turns her screen. Look at male employee scores since you started. Numbers have dropped significantly. Participation down 22%. Satisfaction down 17%. Open responses say they feel like they have to be careful. Environment feels tense. Heat rises in my face. That is exactly what we would expect during culture change. People with unchecked privilege feel uncomfortable when disrupted. Maybe. But this is all male employees, not just white men. Our Asian engineers. Marcus, who is black. Their scores dropped too, because they are still men. They still benefit from patriarchal systems. Stephanie. Her voice is firm. I brought you in to improve culture, not make half my workforce feel unsafe. Unsafe. I laugh sharply. They are not unsafe. Women are unsafe. Men examining privilege is not danger. One of our senior engineers is on a performance improvement plan because of a complaint related to your work. I go still. Mike. Yes, Mike Chen. 4 years here. 0 complaints. 0 issues. Excellent reviews. And now he is being investigated for inappropriate workplace conversations. Then he had inappropriate conversations. Amanda looks at me for a long moment. Did he? Or did something else happen? I do not know what you are implying. I am asking directly. Did Mike share something with you in confidence? That made it to other people. My heart pounds. One-on-ones are confidential unless That is not an answer. I may have debriefed with Amber. That is standard when someone shares concerning information. What was concerning? I fumble. He talked about his sex life. That is not appropriate workplace conversation. In a mandatory session that you told him was a safe space. We stare at each other. Amanda, if Mike was making people uncomfortable, was he? Or are you retrofitting justification? I stand. I do not think this is productive. Sit down. I sit. I am not firing you. Your contract runs through the month. But whatever happened with Mike, it scared people. The men on this team are terrified of you. Maybe they should be scared. That is not the work. That is fear. And fear does not create change. It creates silence. That evening, my apartment. I am furious. Open PowerPoint. Title slide. Professional boundaries and emotional labor. I write, inappropriate workplace disclosures. Details about your sex life or intimate relationships. Trauma dumping without consent. Making your struggles someone else's responsibility. Text Amber and Maya. Thoughts for Friday workshop. Amber replies, perfect. Maya replies, are you sure this is the right move? I reply, yes, people need boundaries. Maya, she replies, okay. Friday afternoon. Workshop. Conference room full. Mandatory attendance. Women in front, men in back. Mike in the far corner staring at the table. I go through slides. Talk about emotional labor. Appropriate vulnerability versus dumping. When I hit the inappropriate disclosures slide, the temperature drops. Mike shrinks in his chair, gets smaller. The key thing to understand, I say, is that vulnerability is not a free pass to make people uncomfortable. There are appropriate channels for personal issues. Therapists, counselors, friends outside work. Your colleagues are not your emotional support system. I avoid looking at Mike when we bring deeply personal sexual or traumatic content into the workplace without consent. We perpetuate harm. We make others responsible for our emotional regulation. That is not vulnerability. That is labor extraction. The women nod. Amber takes notes. The men look like statues. Mike's face is bright red, jaw clenched so tight I can see muscles working. Any questions? Dead silence. Great. I will send a feedback form. People file out immediately. Mike practically runs for the door, head down, shoulders hunched. Maya catches my eye. She looks sad. 15 minutes later. Parking garage. Hear footsteps behind me. Stephanie. I turn. Brad Power walking toward me, face tight with anger. You know what you did, right? His voice shakes. I do not. Do not. You know exactly what you did. If you are upset about the workshop. Mike trusted you, specifically you, in a confidential session. He did what you told him to do. He was vulnerable. He shared something deeply personal and humiliating. My heart hammers. I do not discuss. You told Amber at lunch at the cafe. You told Amber and Maya and Rachel about his marriage, his wife, his weight, his sex life. You gossiped. I was debriefing with HR. You laughed about it. And now Mike is on a performance plan. Half the office thinks he is a creep. His reputation is destroyed. And you just spent an hour lecturing everyone about how what he did was inappropriate. If he made people uncomfortable, he did not. He talked to you in private, and you weaponized it. I feel cornered. Intent does not matter, right? Impact matters. Brad laughs ugly. Are you using your own talking points? Intent does not erase impact. That is on your slides. And now you are defending your intent. I cannot speak. Mike worked here 4 years. 0 problems. Everyone likes him. And you destroyed him in 3 weeks because he trusted you. That is not fair. You made him the example. You made him the reason none of us will ever say a word. You want to know why we sit in silence? Because we watched what happened to Mike. Brad's voice drops. Quieter. More dangerous. You built a trap. You told him it was safe. Then destroyed him for believing you. And when it blew up, you convinced yourself he did something wrong. Because admitting you betrayed him was too uncomfortable. He turns to leave. Stops. Looks back. He has 2 kids, a daughter and a son, 8 and 10. He coaches his daughter's basketball team. He is not some teaching moment. He is a real person. And you broke him. Brad walks away. I stand alone in the parking garage, hands shaking. I do not sleep. Lie in bed, replaying it. Brad's voice. You told him it was safe, then destroyed him for believing you. I keep trying to find the version where I am not the villain, but it keeps falling apart. Around 3 a.m., I make tea. Sit at my kitchen table in the dark. Open my laptop. Look at my slide. Inappropriate workplace disclosures. Details about your sex life or intimate relationships. I stare at it. Mike did not bring it up in the break room, did not share it in a meeting. I asked him. I pushed him, told him it was safe, told him vulnerability was brave. And then I took what he shared and discussed it over salad, laughed about it. Maybe she has a point. Oh God, I said that out loud. I am not the hero of this story. I never was. I am the danger they all learned to fear. And I built this trap myself.